Sup gang, sup, welcome back. I'm uneven in the frame. Sup gang, welcome back. I'm in college now. Look at this. We're truly living like kings. No, we're not. This is actually misery, and I don't want to be here. But dude's gotta get a job somehow. Dude's gotta get paid somehow, But that's not what the video is about. What the video is about is NixOS. Most of my channel is centered around Linux, and NixOS is no different. It's a Linux distribution, but it's different. Now, that just sounded very contradictory, but let me show you guys what I mean. So let's head over to this right here, and let's pull up NixOS. Here we can see actual, NixOS stuff. Let me close that. That probably made a loud sound. But Nix itself is a package manager. NixOS is a operating system based off that package manager, and that is currently what I have installed. So what makes NixOS different than normal package managers? Normal distributions. Well, essentially everything. The way you do everything is different. For example, if you were to, install VLC in a normal distribution, you might do that by, opening up the terminal and just, typing in sudo pacman install, or not install, syc syy, so you get that update in there, VLC. That is not how you do it in NixOS. There's a way to kind of do it like that, but that's not very much endorsed. What you will actually have to do is go into your configuration, or to your Nix file, which I put in my configuration in my NixOS thing, right? And then you're going to edit your configuration.nix file. So if we, look at this, if we take a little peek at this configuration, configuration.nix, you can see that there's a lot in here. There's a whole lot in here. You can see I've got boot stuff, settings, networking, time zone, all that is configured in here. Essentially what I'm trying to tell you is your whole system is configured in a script that is available for you to edit. So like for packages, like we were just talking about, you would go to this right here. You would go to your user, you would define your user, and then you will define packages for your user. So my user has all these packages that I've defined. Now that I'm in that system, signed in as that user, I have access to all those packages like VLC, which is a different way of doing it than Arch or any other Linux distribution. And I kind of really like this way of doing things. The reason I like it and so many other people like it is because of reproducibility. I could go to any other base NixOS operating system, just put in my configuration files, build it from that configuration file, and essentially I would have the same NixOS set up on that computer as I would have on this laptop here. So that is really cool. And you can also tweak other things, like things that you would think, oh yeah, I gotta tweak in normal configuration files. No, here you can use something called Home Manager to configure your home files. For example, like hyperlink. So I've got a hyperlink.nix file, right here, and you can see I've configured it using Nix. I've made these variables, I've created this execute once, so the network manager executes this, and basically when NixOS builds the system off of my Nix files, my Nix configuration files, we can see that when we go into .config, what it actually does is when it reads all these files, let's see, we can cd into hyper, and then there's the hyperland conf. So what you want to, let's just nvim hyperland. Sorry for all the sound. This desk is super squeaky. Oh wait, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Okay, nvim hyperland.com. You can see basically what that NixOS thing did was it just put it all into this hyperland thing. It just made this file for me, but the advantage here is I only had to write it in Nix. I didn't have to learn a different language. I didn't have to learn .conf. I just learned Nix and edit everything in Nix, and that's really cool, especially because now I can integrate Hyperland with other Nix things like Stylix, which is what I used for theming. So if we pop back over here, you can see I can go to Stylix.nix. In Stylix, I can put a dark mode, which I activated, that's why it's dark, and then I can even pick a color scheme, which I don't even have to define. I could define my own color scheme, as you can see right here, but I didn't even do that. I just took a scheme from GitHub already defined, the one dark theme, and then it just applied that. Applied a wallpaper, and now this wallpaper is the same wallpaper in my GNOME setup, in my KDE setup. It will be the same wallpaper because I, defined it in my Nix thing. And whenever Nix now builds, it goes to KDE, gives it that wallpaper. It goes to Hyperland, gives it this wallpaper. It goes to GNOME and gives it this wallpaper, which is nice. It's all in one place. Nix is freaking awesome when it comes to configuration. It is just awesome. That's the end of that. Nix is just good for configuration. That's what I've learned. But what it is not good for, at least in my experience, is development. Now, development is... okay, here, let me show you. Let's quit out of this. You can see in my NixOS directory, I've got a few things. I've got the basic configuration, home modules where I configure all, things like Hyperland, NeoVim. That's where I would, edit them and configure them. But then I've got something called Flake templates. Now, Flake templates, if you go into here and let's find Flake templates, flutter-flake.nix is something I have here. We can open this up and you can see it's basically a template to be able to develop Flutter things. I need to make this template each time I want to make a Flutter app. I need to have this in that directory. For example, if I was to go here and give you guys an example project, cd projects.libp app, you can see it added all these things. Flutter is now usable like this, but if I was to leave that directory, Flutter no longer exists. This might be good if you're trying to, sandbox your development or things like that, but for me, it's a headache because I don't fully understand, the way of making these templates. So I have to just get them from online, and they look pretty confusing, and this way of development is actually pretty bad if you think about anyone trying to get fully into development, because they don't know every single package. Like when they want to make an Android app, they're going to have to learn the Android package, learn what packages they need to get from Android, learn what it's called in NixOS because it's called a different thing than other operating systems. So it's just a big headache. Drink some water. Yeah, but it's just a big headache. And then when you add plugins or do something, right, it might not work. Your whole thing might just break because you're missing something in here, which I've run into a few times. A few times I'll be developing my app and making good progress, and then all of a sudden, sorry, it doesn't work anymore because you need this certain thing, which would have happened automatically if I was using any other Linux distribution. But because I'm using this, it doesn't automatically edit this flake. You can't automatically edit this flake. You have to manually go in there and add the tools you need without sometimes even knowing the tools you need, which kind of sucks. So for my experience with that, it hasn't been the best. But for configuration, oh my god, it is amazing. You know, you could just make one configuration, put it on GitHub, and be rest assured that your system is out there existing, you know. Whereas in Arch, you'll have to rebuild everything every single time, no matter what. This makes it a little bit more simpler. Well, not simpler, but it makes it a little bit more reproducible, which is one of the key selling points for NixOS. And for reproducibility, I will give it that thumbs up. It does give you that reproducibility. For development, I think it's not the best it could be. I think that FHS compliance or file hierarchy or whatever that thing is, I think that is very important. I think that's very important, and it's like a lot of other, you know, people who have tried NixOS have stated that FHS compliancy would be good, because a lot of things, for example, the game engine Bevy, you know, Flutter is another example, you know, all depend on FHS compliancy. So if they don't work, you're going to have to, you know, make a flake, put it into that directory, so those tools, when installed, have access, or at least, you know, seem like they have access to all the things that they need. I don't really fully understand how and what that works, but it does work. And direnv is what you have to use, and also just the headache of setting up a new project compared to setting up new projects before, you know, flakes and direnv was introduced into my life. It was so much easier before. It was so much easier, and you know, I'm basically doing all this extra work for the same exact result. It's the same app, except when I go and port it into Windows or port it into any other thing, it'll just work. And I won't have to set up direnv, and I won't have to set up Nix and things like that, Nix flakes. So that's good. That's good. But if you're just like, you know, watching this and you don't even have Linux and stuff like that, this probably doesn't even, you know, interest you. You're probably like, oh wow, that guy's crazy. Why would he program his whole system instead of, you know, just using the settings? Because we don't have settings. Because we don't have settings here. We are the settings. Essentially. Essentially, we are just the settings. But yeah. Also, I'm bald now. Hopefully you're having a good day, and I will try and upload more because I enjoy uploading and I don't enjoy physics, which is currently what I am going through. So do some. Oh, god dang it, man, the video is gonna be so cool, and then I just ruined it by hitting this little thing down here. Look at this, look at this, it's pretty cool. Watch this. It locks in here, it's like a drawer. You think it's pretty cool, right? But then you realize, like, when you actually use it, it sucks. This thing here sucks, and it just keeps, like, you know, you'll do this, and it'll go like that. And it's like, bro, stop doing that. Stay still. They should have made, like, a little lock mechanism over here. I don't know why they didn't test this thing before they put it out for production in this college, I guess. But that is that. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like. And if you didn't, eat ice cream, man. And if you did like the video, still eat ice cream. You deserve a goddamn ice cream for sitting through all this. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.